So this basically means there are people that are really interested and intrigued by the darker aspects of spiritual evolution itself, the darker feminine proponents of why this energy exists in the first place and what role does it play for the bigger picture of soul evolution. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. What exactly is it that we are going to be discussing in this today's video? I am going to be breaking down Universe B magic. What does it mean to be someone who is able to manifest from Universe B? What does Universe B magic look like? How does it actually unfold? How does it actually manifest itself into the physical plane here on Earth? This is a very different and unique form of manifestation. Not everyone can take advantage of this degree of manifestation. It takes a certain level of self-development and a certain level of occult initiation to be able to do this. But for the people that are taking advantage of this, what does it actually look like? Okay, what does Universe B magic look like? Why is it different than Universe A magic? Or why is it different than the average ways that most human beings on the planet are currently manifesting? I'm going to be explaining a lot of the details and a lot of the different mechanics that are going behind this form of manifestation, this form of occult science. So if this is something that you want to know a little bit more about, this is absolutely a video that is going to be for you. So I will see you on the other side. Okay, let me first start with introducing myself just in case you don't know who I am right now. My name is JeremiahJSchwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck. I'm studied when it comes to planetary energies in association with astrology. And I'm also studied when it comes to trauma and its relationship to the nervous system. All right, let's go ahead and get right on into this subject. We are talking about Universe B magic. What exactly does this mean? What is Universe B in the first place? Okay, so traditionally, when we look at the Kabbalistic tree, there are two ways that we can kind of look at this entire Kabbalistic tree of life. Now, the first place that we want to, let me get a picture actually. The first place that we really want to observe is how this tree of life is in the shape of the DNA strand. And that is for a very significant reason, because it is embedded literally within the DNA of all of us as human beings existing on Earth today. So, Universe A is traditionally going to be associated with what is known as the tree of life, and this is going to be called the Sephiroth when we're looking at Kabbalah. Now, there is another aspect of Kabbalah, just like all things have duality and all things have a form of polarity, and there is something which is known as the tree of death, which is connected to the Qlippoth. And this would be the contrast to the Sephiroth, where the Sephiroth once again is representing Universe A, whereas the Qlippoth is representing Universe B. Okay? Universe A is generally going to be a consciousness that is residing within physical plane structures and pretty significant degrees of matrix systems. So when I say that, what I mean is that when you're existing within Universe A, you are bound to a certain degree of physical laws that come with this planet on an energetic level. So energetically, meaning the way that your mind functions, the way that your emotional body functions, the way your energy field functions, the way your higher self influences you, and other, potential external energetic forces, there are certain laws and there are certain boundaries to which a person is able to express their influence, express their energetic influence. That is what Universe A is. Now, we all exist within Universe A to an extent because we are all human beings living on this planet Earth. So there is a part of us that is always going to be connected to the Sephiroth, to Universe A. Now, there is also a part of us that exists in Universe B, and this would be, once again, more so of the contrast aspect of the Sephiroth, the contrast of Universe A. So this would be the Qlippothic aspect, and not only is it the Qlippothic aspect, but this is connected to more so of a negative part or negative parts of our energetic beings on a soul level, emotional, mental, and physical level. So the reality is that most people are much more, the reality is most people are existing way more in a Universe A reality. Most people, and that's truly like when we come into physical existence as human beings, we are primarily Universe A beings. We are coming into this matrix system to understand what it means to be human and how to navigate the human experience. Now, most people are a lot more Universe A oriented in regards to their energetic makeup, in regards to the way that they live their lives. And this is natural. This goes for the majority of the human species. Now, there are few people, there are going to be few souls on this planet. And when I say few, I'm still talking about millions. There's still a lot, and there's actually more people that are starting to come up to the forefront that are coming from this new perspective. But there are a lot less, compared to the mass collective, groupings of people that are much more in resonance with the darker aspects of spiritual evolution itself. Much more in resonance with the Qlippothic portions, the more negative portions of their own genetic code and their own DNA. So this basically means there are people that are really interested and intrigued by the darker aspects of spiritual evolution itself, the darker feminine proponents of why this energy exists in the first place and what role does it play for the bigger picture of soul evolution. There are going to be fewer people that are in resonance with that darker energy compared to the mass collective, but there's still a lot of people that are in resonance with this energy. And as I said, as time is going on, there's more and more people that are gravitating towards it. Now, what does this mean? This means that for someone who is more interested in these darker aspects of spiritual evolution, there are different forms of self-development that this type of person will have to experience in order to be able to understand more of what this darker energy in the universe is actually doing here as a whole. So in other words, there are certain degrees of growth processes, and we could call them occult initiations, that this type of human being will have to experience and have to embrace in order to understand, one, how to harness power from dark energy, but also how to understand what role does it actually play in the bigger scheme of things in regards to evolution as a whole. So with that, there's clearly a lot of differences from the average person that is existing in Universe A compared to the person who is working with more Qlippothic energies, is intending themselves to work with more Qlippothic energies, and is going through certain forms of development to understand how dark energy actually functions within the whole of the collective. The Universe B awareness is a very hard awareness to develop. And the reason why that is is because the process to developing yourself to be a universe B entity literally requires you to, on an energetic level, establish connections with black holes that exist in the universe as a whole. Now, of course, the more so local black holes that are existing within our galaxy, and then, outside of our galaxy, the closer ones, these are typically going to be the black hole systems that are going to have the most significant influence on us as we are the human beings working with this Qlippothic energy. So black holes become very important because these are structures in the universe that are largely designed to be cleaners. Okay, in a way, they are literally cleaners. They are absorbing all different types of stars, all different types of light, even planets, and it's like they're sucking them in, turning it. The black holes are sucking all these things in, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they move around in their own patterns, in their own structures. And literally, what they are doing in regards to the bigger picture is they are cleaning and they are recycling energy. Okay, they are absorbing stars and light that are no longer needed to be in this experience, and they are creating space for new things to be created. Okay, so as human beings that are working with this black hole energy, and the way that, once again, we work with this black hole energy is through ritual, through certain occult techniques and certain occult sciences. So this is going to be ritualistic practices, initiatory practices, invocations of other entities that have connections to these black hole energies and other, planets and stars that have similar types of influence. By doing all of these things, we are starting to shift our awareness, and we're starting to really change ourselves on a deep cellular level to be more in resonance with these black holes. In other words, it's like we're channeling the energy. Just like someone can channel the energy of a planet like Venus or Mars or the sun, etc., as people that are working with this Qlippothic energy and starting to understand the nature of Universe B, we are channeling consistently energy from black holes. Now, what this does to the psyche is it brings the psyche into a significant degree of disillusion. So this is like an ego death beyond what you could typically ever imagine. This is like ego death after ego death after ego death after ego death that really forces your structured thoughts of yourself to break down so that you can actually open up and be as authentic as you actually can, like really stepping into the true self, which is this like inner, in order to really break open to that degree, you kind of have to get to this inner void space first. You have to get to this inner nothingness. And it's from that nothingness, it's from that void that then you start to create from your authentic expression. So working with Universe B energies and these black holes, they help really significantly to initiate these dissolving processes, these dissolution processes. Remember what I said, black holes, they are cleaners within the galaxy. They are cleaners within the universe. So when we are channeling that energy, what are we doing? We are cleaning our energetic slate. We are cleaning our mindset. We're cleaning our emotional bodies. We're cleaning our physical bodies. We're cleaning a lot of things that need to be resolved and need to be processed within our nervous systems. And guess what a lot of these things are going to be related to? Trauma. So a lot of the things that get stored within our systems is going to be related to trauma that we experienced in the past. And us not being willing to go into that trauma or more importantly, face the repressed negative emotions that came from the trauma, that stores itself in our system, and it naturally will cause us to act in certain ways that are inauthentic to who and what we truly are. So working with these black hole energies, it really starts to dissolve a lot of these mental structures and barriers and protective mechanisms so that we can be very, very vulnerable and actually step into a deep feminine energy to start processing a lot of these repressed energies, start feeling them and integrating them, and then finding a resolve within ourselves, finding a resolve between our masculine and our feminine energy, and being a lot more authentic. So as I say this is not easy to do. This is like one of the hardest things to do. This is actually quite a scary process to go through for people that are actually working with this degree of self-development. But of course, after working with this long enough, there is something significant that actually takes place within the energy field of the person. And this typically will happen through the initiatory process of the Qlippoth during the experience which is called crossing the abyss. So in that crossing of the abyss, what will typically happen is there will be so much dense energy and chaos that is coming in from these black holes and coming in from all the negative proponents of other planets and stars and constellations, that what it does is it overwhelms the system significantly so that it eventually collapses on itself. You could think of like the actual energy field itself, the soul of the human being, in a way, it kind of collapses and then it turns itself into something completely different. It like changes the configuration of the energetic spin. It changes the configuration of how the energy body emanates and how the energy body functions after it collapses on itself. So this collapse is like an ego death that you've never had before. This is not your traditional ego death. This is like you are literally dissolving into nothingness. You're forgetting who you are as a human being. That's that type of death. That's where this collapse takes place. But as that happens, that once again, it changes the energetic structure permanently, where it starts to invert on itself. So universe A energy bodies are typically a lot more radiant. They're always pushing out. They're always pushing out. They're always pushing out. It's like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? What can I do for you? How can I help you? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Whereas when this collapse takes place, this change in the energetic structure now starts to move things into the body and the energy field in a much more magnetic fashion. So things are now getting sucked in. They're coming inwards. They're being pulled inside of the system. And obviously this comes with mental shifts as well. This comes with physical changes. This comes with emotional changes. You actually become a lot more receptive. You have an ability to really feel more. You become more of an empath. You are a lot more sensitive to your own subconscious mind. The subconscious mind actually gets a lot more heightened, so you can actually understand what's going on in your subconscious. You have more of an ability to travel into the unconscious mind because of this energetic shift. So when this actually takes place though, what's happening now is there is this magnetic quality that is taking place within the energetic structure, as if the energy field itself has mimicked or almost cloned the energetic mechanics of a black hole. So this is one of the powers of working with real black magic and working with the Qlippoth. Once again, not everyone is meant for this. A lot of people are not meant for this. So don't jump into this form of initiation if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, because I have seen people's lives get destroyed because of it. Now, if it is for you, then that's wonderful. But make sure you do your research and make sure you study with stuff that I'm teaching. And I would recommend potentially booking a call with me so that we can discuss some of these things so that you actually know what you're getting yourself into. But as I was saying, it's like the energy system itself within the human actually becomes a black hole within itself, which means it's pulling in. And now what are you doing? You're cleaning. Okay, you are a figure on this planet that is now able to clean energies that need to be cleaned. And now, as I say this, it may sound a little bit funny, but in reality, it's what we do is we now have a vampiric component to our energetic structure. This is what it means to be a universe B vampire. This is what occult vampires are. This is what we do. This is what it means to be someone who works with the left-hand path, who is a black magician, who is working with the negative parts of our genetic code, channeling energies from black holes, having gone through a certain degree of occult initiation where our energy fields collapse because of the dense energy of working with all of these negative portions of the universe, and then we turn literally into a black hole. Our energy literally turns into a black hole, where now we have an ability to direct with intention how we can pull energy in. So the proper way to work with this energy, because of course, cosmic laws are always going to be at play, no matter who or what you are. Black holes operate under cosmic laws. I mean, what do you think created black holes? What do you think governs their movements? It's the source. It's the all. So cosmic laws are meant to hold things into structures that are going to support the evolutionary process for all beings that in existence. And karma is one of those cosmic laws. So with power comes responsibility, and to have this vampiric ability, that is powerful, but it is going to come with responsibility. And part of that responsibility is having the right education to know, what am I pulling energies in from? Am I just pulling energy from people that are, am I draining people of energy that is coming from a space of jealousy? I'm jealous of what they have and I'm trying to take it from them. Am I trying to take energy from another person because I just don't like the person and I don't really understand why I don't like the person? Like, I'm not really asking myself that deeper question. There are factors here. So a lot of these factors are going to require us to understand, what are we pulling energy from? And this requires a lot of introspection, a lot of inner looking, and asking yourself these deeper questions of why. Why am I doing this? Why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling this way? And you may not always have the answer, but the why question always leads us in the right direction, because we're self-reflecting. And we're realizing that everything we are manifesting is also to some extent connected to us. And there's always opportunity for us to do our own processing. And once you've gone through this form of education and you have a general understanding of what's going on, you can start pulling energy in from inauthenticity. Okay, you can recognize when someone is being inauthentic to their true self. You can recognize when someone is operating from a space of jealousy or greed or a space of lying, just a space of inauthenticity. And what happens is we can suck in the ego or the identity, ID entity of that human being. And we can turn it into power, just like a black hole. When it consumes things, it gets bigger. We're doing the exact same thing. And as we suck away the ego from the person who is behaving in an inauthentic way, it is actually leaving them in a position where now all their repressed negative emotions start to come to the surface from their own traumas. So now they actually have an opportunity to start processing and working with some of those repressed energies so that they can know more of who they actually are. And if you're really good at what you do as a Universe B vampire, if it's someone that you actually care about, or if it's just an opportunity where you feel like you can do this, you can also help the person navigate exactly what it is that they're experiencing. So if I'm, let's say I'm having a conversation with a random person and they are operating from a space of trauma and they're not coming from an authentic space, and I can recognize it, and I can just see that they're struggling with it, then I can actively pull in the energy from their identity, the part of themselves that they think they need to identify with to protect them from other parts. I can pull that out of them and I can help guide them through communication, and just with my intention alone, to help them understand what's happening and to help kind of lead them in the right direction, nudge them in the right direction. Now, obviously, if this is happening with someone that's an abuser or someone that's, trying to take advantage of me, or is acting as if, they are potentially dangerous to me, then I can be a lot more ruthless with this type of behavior. I can just pull out the identity of that person and then leave them in their own space to process whatever it is that they need to process. Okay, I don't need to navigate them. I don't need to guide them. They can sit with their own negative energy and face that themselves, because some people need that cracking moment. So this is just an example of what this looks like. Now, as I'm pulling away the ego of the other person, I'm gaining power, and I'm also gaining benefits on a universal level, because I'm creating good karma for myself. Okay, the universe really needs people like this, just like the universe needs black holes. They play their role in the bigger scheme of things. All right, so this is what it means to exist within Universe B. Now, the way that Universe B manifestation unfolds is very different than Universe A. So because there's such a magnetic vampiric quality to Universe B consciousness, the way we manifest is directly from the unconscious subconscious mind. So what this means is that largely everything that we are creating for ourselves through manifestation techniques is going to be rooted in the intention alone. So a Universe B person sets an intention, they know what they want, they know that they can get it, they have an intention towards that thing. Having that intention sets the stage for the deep unconscious mind and the subconscious mind to start orchestrating the physical events or the circumstances that need to unfold in order to align with the intention of this human being. So this is happening on a heightened scale for someone who exists within Universe B, and one of the reasons why that is because we fuel our energy bodies, our energetic beings, by pulling in energy from other people's inauthenticity. Not just other people's inauthenticity, but other things in authenticity, like collective groups, archetypes. You know, someone could create a movie that's designed to kind of hurt people or designed to keep people stagnant, and we can pull energy in from that, right? There's so many things we can pull in energy from. Now, as I was saying, we are gaining consistent amounts of power and energy from pulling in from inauthentic energy or artificial energy. And this is fueling our ability to set intention and then operate through the deep unconscious and subconscious mind. Remember, Universe B beings, we are a lot more receptive to our unconscious and our subconscious. So we notice symbols and signs way more significantly than the average person does. So when we see a little manifestation of something that we're intending, we can actually lock onto it and create what's known as an energetic link to that symbol to recognize and confirm that what we're manifesting is showing up. So we can get one little symbol that becomes a link, then we get another little symbol that becomes a link, link. We keep getting links through observation, through recognizing these little symbols that are showing up, and that builds up. Once again, it builds a momentum as we're also gaining more power. Our intention is getting stronger, and the ability for our unconscious and subconscious mind to orchestrate what we're trying to manifest has a lot more effective ability to do it. So the way that we manifest looks very different than the average person. We set intentions and then things just naturally start to come in. We don't really have to do too much effort. Now, of course, if you want to implement effort, that's only going to add to, whatever it is that you're manifesting, but you really don't need to put in too much effort once you've gotten to this point where your energetic field is pulling in energy in this way. And it takes time, okay? This is not something that will happen overnight. Universe A magic or Universe A manifestation looks like this. I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this in this exact order in order to generate this. Remember what I said, Universe A is a lot more governed by matrix structures and energetic boundary systems within our planet. So people literally will have to do certain things. They will have to go to certain places, talk to certain people, implement certain things to make sure that what they're manifesting has a higher probability to manifest. That is Universe A magic. It's like I have to take this step and do this step and do this step and then boom, manifest. It's kind of like the system, right? Where you go to school, you go to college, you get your degree, then you can get the job you want. Whereas Universe B magic is much more artistic, much more creative. It's like, this is what I know I can do. I'm going to set the intention. I don't know exactly how it's going to show up, but I trust that it's going to show up. And then boom, things align themselves. I follow the path and then it works out. So I would be a great example of someone who's done this. I created my own YouTube channel, which started with me just, making videos and just consistently making videos And the way that my life started orchestrating itself is I was trying to go down kind of like the more mainstream path of being a personal trainer, and my job let me go because I was working with a lot of these darker energies and starting to change my energetic field. I knew what I was intending for myself, and the path that I was consciously walking wasn't that path. So I had to be receptive to my intention and how my unconscious mind was orchestrating my life to get me there. So my job had let me go. I had opportunity to build up my YouTube channel. I had to work different jobs throughout the process. And then eventually the pandemic hits, which I think I played a big role in unfolding into the collective because I was doing some significant rituals at that time with Qurans on and crossing the abyss. And then sure enough, during the pandemic, that was my opportunity to no longer have to ever work a mainstream job again. I was able to file for unemployment during that time. And then I took my YouTube channel seriously, very, very seriously, as if it was a full-time job. And then by the time my unemployment ended, I was making enough money to pay my rent through what I was doing with YouTube. And that just compiled and compiled and compiled all the way up until the point where I make 6 figures doing what I love, okay? This was all examples of Universe B magic. There were so many different steps that kind of unfolded themselves in a very like chaotic way. It wasn't like I have to go here and then here and then here. It was like I was here and then I was let go of here and then I went here and then that just didn't work out and then I had to go here and I had to follow those steps or go through that process, and everything was just kind of like it was showing up in front of me. Like I wasn't doing it. It was just coming to me and I was just following the path. That's because my unconscious mind was governing everything that I needed to experience in order to get to where it is, where I am right now in this moment. And I mean, till this day, I set intentions for certain things and then they come to me. Okay, so remember, everyone to some extent can utilize this form of manifestation. This is a property of how we can manifest things. Remember, we all have a universe A and a universe B part of ourselves, but people that are working with the left-hand path and are polarizing this way with the negative polarity, we are going through real deep occult initiations to significantly have this power to manifest in this way that I'm discussing right now, a lot more than the average person. So to the average person, we look like gods the way that we are able to create our realities because we just set intentions and then everything kind of falls into place. And then other people kind of look at you like, how in the hell did you just do that? Why do I have to do this and this and this and bust my ass when you just set an intention and then everything kind of falls in front of you and you just have to walk into it, right? But you also have to take into account that in order to get to this degree of being able to manifest this way, you have to go through a lot of growth. You have to do a lot of trauma work. You have to do a lot of processing of repressed negative emotions. You have to do a lot of self-reflection. You have to go through so much ego dissolution. So there's a lot of stuff you have to do to have this power. It is not something you're just given. Okay, you have to go through a process to properly develop all of this stuff and integrate it. And it is a process where you will go up and you will go down and up and down and up and down until you sort of get a grasp on what's happening and understand it. All right? So this is the power of Universe B magic. Okay? Very different than the average person. Once again, there are few people amongst the mass collective as a whole that are operating from this space. But there are a lot of people that are operating from this space primarily. And of course, you're going to see creatives, you're going to see artists that are really coming from this space in regards to what they do and things in that nature. So on another note, this is once again what is directly connected to what's called my Universe B vampire service, which is the ritual service that I have that is performed on the full moon of every single month, where I am performing an advanced occult ritual that is an energetic transfer from me to the participant to prepare their energy field to start going through Universe B initiations and Universe B transformations. Actually, within this ritual itself, I am programming the black hole energy field into the energy body of the receiving participants specifically. I am actually ritualizing it, I'm visualizing it, and I am installing it into their energetic structure. Now, of course, to the average person, this sounds crazy. What are you talking about? This makes no sense. You sound like you've lost your mind. Well, guess what? This isn't for the average person. This is higher degree occult science that most human beings on the planet do not fully understand and probably won't understand until a very long time. So for people that are in resonance with this, it already takes a certain type of person to be able to allow themselves to understand that some of these things are very powerful and can be used for self-development purposes. But yes, in this ritual, it is an energetic transfer and an energetic transformation that I am initiating on the participants. And what it does is it starts to change their energy field to start operating in this way. Now, it's not something that's like you go from one day to the next and you're just this powerful person that's completely able to manifest from the deep unconscious. It takes time to go through the integration phase, and that's what I initiate in the participants. So originally what is to be expected after receiving the ritual is you will notice a period typically of fatigue. This period can last anywhere from a week all the way up to a couple months, and there will be surfacing of repressed negative emotions because there's that cleaning process that is starting to take place within the energy body of the person. Because once again, all of these things that are inside of our systems need to be resolved for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of things need to be resolved and they need to be processed and embraced. And that's what starts to happen to the person receiving the service. And as they go through that process and they start getting more in tune with their feminine energy, their energy bodies start to shift drastically. And then they can start operating from a space which is very, very different than the average person. And then they can start tuning into some of these powers of just setting intentions and watching things unfold, pulling in energy from inauthenticity, turning it into power. Okay? So, I mean, there's tons of people that have received this service from me, this ritual service, and there has been endless amounts of, healthy, significant feedback that I've received from the service. So if you're listening to this and you're interested, it's the first link in that YouTube description. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually going to wrap the video up. So we're gonna close things out here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you learned from this. Let me know if you're resonating with what I'm talking about. If you're someone that has received the vampire ritual service from me, drop down in the comment section and let me know, let all of us know what your experience was like having received the ritualistic service, and let me know if you're noticing the differences of how you're able to influence your reality, how you're able to create things in your everyday life. Okay, I would love to hear that. Now also hit the notification bell. Make sure you're getting notified whenever I'm posting this content. This is extremely valuable information. You do not want to miss out. There are not a lot of people that are talking about this type of stuff. So look into it. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, because by subscribing, you are further linking into the content, which means there's a deeper connection between me and you. You can get more from what I'm teaching, and I can get more from you as you're listening, as the students. Okay, I can pick up on some of your subconscious thoughts and intentions. For example, if there's a certain video that you want me to talk about, I might pick up on that through the subconscious and actually make the video. All right, so subscribe and further link in. Now, if you know anyone that is interested in this type of information, you have my full permission to copy and paste the link and send it to them. Send it to your friends. Send it to potentially a family member that's interested. Send it to your social media platforms if you know people there that want to know more about this type of stuff. Okay, you have my full permission to do that. Go ahead and do it. All right, now the first link in the YouTube description, this is my Patreon. And on my Patreon, I have a whole bunch of videos that are exclusive to the Patreon only. If you're getting value from this content on my public channel and you're studying what I'm saying and you're noticing results from the things that I'm studying, or you're noticing how things are kind of coming together and you're putting the pieces together, you need to be a part of the Patreon. I have a lot of advanced occult knowledge over there, advanced occult practices. I have true self-development practices that help you to regulate your nervous system and create a healthy foundation within yourself so that you can do this deeper work, so that you can do the emotional processing that needs to be done. All of this is over on my Patreon, so definitely consider it. Tier 3 and 4 is where you're gaining access to that vampire service ritual that is performed on the full moon of every month that I just was talking about. The deadline to sign up for it is the day before the full moon. So this month, as you're listening to this video, if you're taking advantage of this month's service, look for the date of the full moon, and the deadline is 1 day behind it to sign up. All right? There are actively over 200 members that are actively participating in this month's ritual service, and there are probably about 460 plus members that are actively a part of the Patreon right now. All right, so we're going to leave that there. First link below. Second link below is where you can book a one-on-one call with me if you have any questions or you want to get to know me a little bit better, or you could book a mentorship with me. Now, this is one of the most valuable things that you could ever do while working with me. Okay, in this mentorship, it is me and you, and what we're doing is we are developing an intimate connection so that I can help you create a healthy foundation in your life to help you regulate your nervous system, go back into some of your traumas so that we can start to process some of those repressed negative energies and then integrate them. And once we have that established, then we can start moving into some of the more spiritual, occult, initiatory practices. So this would be like initiation of the Qlippoth. All right. I've got a bunch of mentorships going on. Actually, at this moment, I don't really have room for anyone else, but by the time this video releases, there may be some spots that are open. So we'll leave it there. Second link below. Third link below is the LUCIFERS. Oh, and actually, let me say this. In that same second link below, if you are wanting to book a tarot card reading, which is Kabbalah informed, there is a girl named Alexia who is doing the readings for me, and I have worked with her personally to make sure that she understands what she's doing, to make sure she understands the Kabbalistic tree placements of the readings themselves. And she is really good at what she does. She's really gifted at it, and she is Kabbalah informed, and she's trained by me in that specific way. So if you're looking to get your reading done on recent past, present moment, and then near future to understand more about what you're experiencing, what you're going through, and what you can expect, as well as understand what are some of the energetic things that you might be operating on connected to the Kabbalistic tree, whether it's an archetype or planetary sphere, definitely consider booking this tarot card reading. It is with Alexia. That is at the second link below as well. You're going to find the option to book it there. All right, we'll leave it there. Third link below is the LUCIFERS Foundation course. This is a very powerful course. If you're someone that's looking to develop a healthy, strong relationship with Lucifer, this is your go-to course. This is 11 modules that you're going to have access to for the rest of your life that is going to give you absolutely everything you need to know to develop a healthy relationship with Lucifer. Subconscious reprogramming, guided meditations, setting up your ritual space, education on trauma work and shadow work, creating a contract with Lucifer, where everything is headed. Okay, a lot of people have taken advantage of the course. People are continuing to purchase it. If it's something you're interested in, definitely look into it. It's that third link below. Fourth link below is the YouTube membership. First and foremost, I would love to have you as a YouTube member. It's always nice to have people within the membership. It's fun to see, similar faces that I'm used to coming across and, being in the community. You are also gaining access to benefits. Members only chat within the live stream, exclusive emojis, shout outs, exclusive content, specifically music video breakdowns. All of this is accessible to being a YouTube member. So if you're interested, fourth link below. I would love to have you in the community. Now the final link, this would be the fifth link below. This is a 4 ebook package for only $128, 4 ebooks that gives you everything you need to know about the initiatory system and working with these different spirits and entities from the Ars Goetia to the 72 angels. Okay, if you want to do some more research on what is going on with this initiatory system and have something that you can always refer back to get sigils, to get brief information, to understand what spheres you might be pulling on, or to understand the archetypal paths and the 22 tunnels of Set, this is your go-to. This is an extremely valuable package here, like super valuable, okay? And it's only $128. In reality, it could be sold for about $400, okay? So all that I ask is that if you make this purchase, all that I ask of you is that you recommend it to a friend as well, if you feel like they will gain value from it. Obviously, if it's not for them, if it's not something they're interested in, don't send it to them. But if they would be interested, recommend it to a friend. Okay, there's tons of people that are buying this package. It is a very valuable package. It's my personal go-to as well to kind of understand, what I'm pulling on or what spirit to work with, what sigil to use, etc., etc. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap up our today's video. So what's going to happen is I'm going to see you on the next video, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you later on. Peace.